In this video, we're going to have a look at how to configure IntelliJ for a Starling mobile air project. So the first thing you want to do is actually download Apache Flex. And you don't necessarily need Flex for the project, but when you download Flex, you get that SDK, you get the Air SDK, you get all sorts of stuff along with that. And it's really easy to download and set up and so forth. So I recommend doing this to install Air. So what you do is you go to Download Flex, and there's an SDK installer for application developers. And this will download a little application to your machine, which will allow you to configure and download the SDK per your particular choices. So you can choose what version of Apache Flex you want. You can choose which version of the Air SDK and Flash player you want to target, and so forth. So once you have that configured in IntelliJ, you want to go ahead and create a new project within IntelliJ. And here you've got your list of different project types. We're going to choose Flash. And our target platform is not going to be the web, it's going to be mobile. And we don't really want to use Apache Flex for this because we're going to be using Starling. So in this case, we're going to use a pure ActionScript project. Now you notice when I tick this little box, it changes this sample app from main.mxml, which is Apache Flex, to a pure ActionScript project, so main.as. Here we choose which SDK we want. This is fine. It's going to target Air 17, which is fine. For target devices, I'm just going to choose Android for this. And for output type, you can choose application library or runtime loaded module. We're going to keep that application and hit next. So here we can name the project. So I'm just going to call this Mobile Starling. And you can tell here the module name is also Mobile Starling, and it creates our project for us. So let's finish that, and it'll go through and generate the different classes for us in our module. So here we can see our source, and we have our main class right here, which isn't doing much at the moment. It's basically including flash.display.sprite and flash.text.text field. Now Starling does not come with the Apache Flex or Air SDKs, so we have to download that separately. To do that, we'll open up a browser window, and from here we can go to gamua.com, or we can go to starling-framework.org, and that'll take us right to the Starling project page. We can hit download here and just download the most recent version of Starling. When it downloads, you'll get a zip that you can unzip. And you can see we have samples. Here's Starling itself, some tests, utilities, and so forth. So just going into Starling, this is the source code you can find in here. But you can also find in the bin folder this starling.swic. A swic file is sort of like it's a bundle of Flash classes and assets and things like that that you can use. Lots of different libraries inside of ActionScript and Flex use swic files to distribute the libraries as binary files. And this is actually all we need. So let's pull that aside and open up our project. And right here inside of our source folder, we can right-click, go ahead and show in Explorer. So when we choose that, it'll actually bring up our project files for us. So now inside our source here, we can just drag in this swic file, and now it's part of our project. And if we want to actually use this inside of IntelliJ, go into our project structure, and for the project SDK, make sure that you specify Apache Flex in here. And then we're going to go over to libraries. So inside of libraries, we're able to add specific code libraries to our project. So we're going to choose a library of type ActionScript Flex. And then we just need to go in and locate that SWIC. So here's the SWIC that we brought in for Starling. And we just have to hit OK. Here it tells us that Starling is going to be added, so again, OK. And then we hit OK again. Once that's done, we should be able to just go to a new line and choose Import. And then from here, just start typing in Starling. And we can see that sure enough, we get all of our different Starling classes here that come in with the Starling library. So at this point, IntelliJ has a pure ActionScript project set up targeting Adobe Air, which is able to implement Starling.